Thank you so much for inviting me as a speaker in this ICPR sponsored lecture series to received University Professor Sampanand Misra ji and from JNU side Professor Kaushal Sharma ji, Professor Ajay Kumar ji and Professor Subh Gupta ji, and I'm really grateful to them that they have given me opportunity to uh, express my opinion about Ram Manohar Lohia ji. And I would also thank my earlier speakers, Professor Bijlani ji, श्रीमान दीपक जी, जिन्होंने हमारे आगे जो मैं बात करूंगा उसका उन्होंने बैकग्राउंड एक तरह से तैयार किया है और उसको मैं जोड़ के राम मनोहर लोहिया जी के बारे में बात करना चाहूँगा। और अभी जो बात चल रही थी महामना मालवीय जी के बारे में, सौभाग्य से एक खंड जो उसमें मालवीय कंप्लीटेड वर्क्स है उसका एक खंड का एडिटर मैं भी हूँ, जो नेक्स्ट ईयर विल बी कमिंग. So that's also I got time to give my thanks to Malviya ji somehow, whatever I feel. I didn't studied in BHU, but I studied over here in JNU here itself. And which I'm going to talk, Ram Manohar Lohia ji, he studied in BHU and then to Kolkata and then to Berlin. So he was a kind of Gandhian socialist with simple living and high thinking. So he was a well-learned person. He studied in Banaras, then Kolkata, then went to Berlin, and he achieved like 2 doctorates, both in one in economics and one in political science. So he was learned social thinker, and also he was a man with vision. And what earlier speaker Professor Bijlani was saying, if you have love for something, then the two things he was saying, ego and love. So I think Ram Manohar Lohia ji was having a deep love for our Indian culture and ethos and values. So that's why he was not only a practitioner or not only a leader, but also he became a kind of philosopher. What he tried to imagine about the Indian democracy, that thing he already practiced and he learned from his experience. That thing he tried to formulate in his ideas about Indian democracy. So that's love for his, because he was well known to our gods like Shiva, Ram, and he used to say these gods are part of Indian popular imagination, and these gods share grief, sorrow, happiness, and experiences of common man, and that common man became a focus area for his lifetime works, whether in politics, when he became leader, when he became a philosopher, when he acted as a student. So all the time he was keeping in his mind that to how to improve this downtrodden man, common man of or poor class or labor or peasants of India. So what my previous speaker Deepak Sriman Deepak ji was also speaking that इंडिया वाज काइंड ऑफ गोल्डन बर्ड, सोने की चिड़िया थी 1750 से पहले. इंडिया वाज हैविंग ए बिल वर्थ, हम लोग सुखी संपन्न थे. तो इनका जो दूसरा जो मैं पॉइंट कहना चाह रहा था कि वो जो बता रहे थे कि भूखे पेट अगर आप रहेंगे तो फिलॉसफी नहीं कर सकते. यू कांट टॉक फिलॉसफी इन विथ एम्प्टी स्टमक. सो दैट्स व्हाट he Ram Manohar Lohia ji focused on that area. Democracy or Indian democracy is not something that you can just lecture on this is democracy and all. He realized the basic concept of democracy. What do we mean by democracy? Our democracy or Indian democracy will be real democracy will be accumulation of a kind of accommodation of common man, peasants, labor, working class. All if you give them voice, then only that real democracy will be possible in India. And then how that they because like during the British period and after that the time India was a kind of like poor country. Everyone knows about that, and so he not only like focused to on like to Indian the concept of Indian democracy, but also he tried to say that these common man, if they get representation and they get their voice, then only we can talk about how India will be having Indian democracy. So his model, he was socialist and Gandhian socialist. So he tried to, and being a well-learned person, he was like well influenced by foreigners also, like Karl Marx. He was having great impact of Karl Marx, and then after Gandhi. So these two persons, Karl Marx and Gandhi, tried to modified his concept of democracy or like whatever is daily life also. So, if we start by saying, as uh, we know that it's the concept of philosophy or whatever is it develops as per the life experiences. What I'm saying. So I will not go into the detail of his autobiography, but I will start like since his childhood he joined Congress. His father was also a national a patriot and a follower of Gandhi. So his father introduced him to Gandhi, and after that he joined Congress, and he attended 1923 and 1926 plenary session of Indian National Congress. And that time he was like a child, 19 years old, and that time itself he got involved with Congress, and he established that new the young being of Congress party, that he was like believing that these young person of the Congress followers, they are not going with the speed with the old people or like older generation. So he started like a young being of Congress party, and that was called Young Socialist Party. And also he was like he went to the foreign, so he also took charge of the foreign affairs of the Indian National Congress. After that, like that one in after the independence, that uh, sorry, and in after the 1936 he established the Congress Socialist Party with Jayaprakash Narayan and all, and then the Congress Socialist Party was also not happy with that he became the one of the prominent leader of his Congress Socialist Party, and then he was not happy with the incidents, the with freedom we got separation also. So he was like quite critical about the policies or how the Indian National Congress dealt with that contemporary situation. So he strongly criticized that the first government, also the Nehru government, and he said like this religion and politics should be dealt very carefully, otherwise like we it's very harmful for democracy. And in the first election 1952, the Socialist Party and this Acharya Kripalani Kisan Party, and they merged, and it became uh, and they founded this PSP party, and he became the secretary. And they fought election the first, but didn't get much success in that. And he wished to uh, uh, be a member or like. But he didn't do it, and Lohia contested in 1962 also from Uttar Pradesh, but he didn't win. And it's interesting that He first time he fought election against Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the mightiest man or like mightiest political leader of that time. It's okay. He he didn't win, but like he had challenged a person that whom he has already criticized earlier. So that kind of, but later on, like in by-election, he got elected in 1963, and he went to parliament. And his first speech that became historical. First time he raised a voice in parliament that, do you know that time that average income of an Indian was only 25 paise, and that Jawaharlal Nehru government spent 25,000 for the security of the prime minister. In a country where a person is earning only 25% and he that the government is spending 25,000 for security purpose of that he raised the first time he raised the problems of common man. And after that, uh, later on, like in two, three times, the Congress won the election and he kept winning. And like this time, like people were hoping that now no other government will come, only the Congress will rule over the country. And then that time, Ram Manohar Lohia came out with that. Then it is the time that we all parties should get together and stand against the Congress. Otherwise, we are not going to win. So, anti-Congress movement he started first time, and the after that election in 1967 election, because of his guidance or his planning, nine states in nine states Congress lost the election, and first time nine states got beyond Congress party. So this is kind of his life, like political career. I was trying to tell you in brief, and from there we can start like these political experiences that shaped their his ideas about Indian democracy, and he gave Chowkhamba model like four pillars of Indian democracy: center, province, district, and village. These are four pillars of Indian democracy, he said, and basically he was talking about the decentralized democracy. He was not, he was saying, he said like it is kind of all political powers or like powers are concentrated on central level. So it should be decentralized. Obviously, he was kind of influenced with Gandhi also. So he gave a kind of decentralized democracy, and in his book, Will to Power and other writing, he gave these four pillar democracy or like Chowkhamba model, and where he said like the center will have kind of national importance subject, and a state will have law and order situation, and village and district level they should get lots of power or autonomy, and they deal with not only the development but also justice policing. Basically he was talking about a kind of village and district level autonomy level, where because he believed that the common man or the poor people they are mostly living in village level. If we can improve our villages, if villages start uh, participating in the development of the country, and then our democracy will be stronger. So this was the basic idea he gave, and the other thing I wanted to point out that these not only he gave the ideas about his Indian democracy, but also he tried to strengthen this Indian democracy by taking some reformatory measures, and in that we can say he talked about the women empowerment. More rather like it's almost half of the population is women. So he said like women equality is already like given by the constitution and everything, but it's on paper. We have to free women from the homework like home chores. They are already busy in all the time, and they are not able to participate in democracy. So we have to free them from home affairs, and then we can bring and reserve jobs for them. And then the second thing he said, like language. He was also like well-learned person. He know like almost 4 5 Hindi, English, Bengali, German, French. In these languages, but he said like English is not good for Indian democracy. Very few people know English in India that time, and they are the parasites. They feel like I am superior, and I know because I know English, and then that's why I am superior. तो उनका कहना था no, इस time we give importance to Hindi and also regional language. He said like in our school, like children are the becoming like clerk producing this college system, education system, that should be removed and we give instruction in Hindi or in regional languages, and then Indian talents will come up, and that in that way like we will get a better next generation. And other thing he said, actually in his life, he went 20 times imprisonment. He went to jail 20 times, and 12 times after the independence and 8 times before the independence. So in his life, it's like jail and spade, like work is the two parts of the coin. So he said, like in India, like we have population, we have like youth population also, as Deepak sir was saying. So he said, like this European model of industrialization is not suitable for India. We have lots of hands. We don't need like high mechanized sector or industry. We can develop small industries and all, and they are like everyone will get job and they start working, and then Indian economy will get a strengthened, and then economy will get a strengthened. Then the people or common people or labor class, or they will start participating. And it's just Deepak sir was saying like आपका आप भूखे पेट हो, then you can't talk philosophy, you can't talk development, you can't say that हमको अभी हमको वोट डालने जाना है. आपको अगर वोट की बात करें, अब if you are hungry and if somebody gives you food, then you obviously vote for him. So that's why he said like we need to like this European model of elitist democracy is not suitable for India because it empowers rich people. And in India, it's our country, we have like lots of poor population and all, and for them we need to first give like economic empowerment for them, and then only after economic empowerment they will participate in Indian democracy, and then the Indian democracy will be more democratic in nature. So in that, like, and he was also like another standing factor he mentioned about the inequality. Like in India, like we have caste inequality, and that should be also removed. And all lower caste people, they should get reservation in government job and other areas also. So these some basic problems also he tried to point out some basic problems to make India more stronger, more democratic. It's not only like he gave only the Chaukhamba model, and he tried to say that how to this Chaukhamba model or this four pillar model will get a standard. And you know that another thing that later on the fifth pillar he also added the international aspect of Indian democracy, and he was the man who supported that non-alignment movement. In that time itself, Manohar Lohia just said he said like India should not be part of any kind, either Russia or America. India should be third power, and India should lead, or like Indian or Asiatic nations should lead the third part, and that became the later on that became the non-alignment movement, and India became played a major role in that. So in all over his life, he was a fearless leader, and he didn't fear anything about that. He criticizes the prime minister also, that the contemporary prime minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, and he worked all his life. He worked for the common people, and he tried to give a vision. And he was the first man who thought for the common man. Where will be the common man in Indian democracy after the freedom? So that's I wanted to tell in a brief. Thank you.